All right. Today, my guest is Arif Tukiman, the co-founder of Runcloud. For those of you who don't know, Runcloud is a leading cloud control panel that is simplifying the cloud, doing away with the difficulties of cloud management, and bringing simplicity to the return focus on business performance. Excellent. Thank you very much for being here today, Arif.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you, Kevin, for inviting me for today.
Perfect. So as people know, the first question that I always love to ask is getting into the origin story. So why don't you take me back? How did you come onto the entrepreneurship journey, and how did you come to launch Runcloud?
I started my very first business during my college study. I studied at UTM Skudai. I took computer science, majoring in graphic and multimedia software. At that time, I started to make my own pocket money by develop website design for my lecturers, for business around in Johor Bahru. Then I started to get like 2,000-3,000 ringgits, like every 2 or 3 months for simple projects. So from being as a freelancer, and then after I graduated in 2014, I started to without thinking much, I started my very first, I established my very first business at that time, Cool Code. So Cool Code is still there until today, which is we are as a software house development company. We develop system, mobile applications and games for clients around. So the startup journey started since there until right now. Even Runcloud, one of the R&D projects under Cool Code. So we think out, we don't want to not continue, it's like to scale our service company, but we thought of having our own product. So we R&D within my 2 other co-founders, Jebat and Amir. We are friends since college, so we developed the service and also the product until today.
Okay, perfect. So what led you to create this? I mean, you're basically a dev house, so I imagine you're doing a lot of website design, maybe even managing them after the fact, whether it's on clouds or hosting sites. What is it that made you decide, hey, I need a control panel, and not only that, I need one that's multi-cloud, multi-hosting site in the backend? How did that come to your guys' idea?
Yeah, the motivation of how we started the Runcloud was actually when we received quite a multiple projects that we need to develop a system and deploy on multiple clouds that preferred by our clients. As simple as, let's say, one project client wanted to deploy on Google Cloud, another system that they wanted to deploy on, let's say, AWS, right? So my CTO, Jebat, he used to use our computer, which is the panel, to manage and deploy multiple projects on the cloud. So then he thought of develop our own simple automation script at the time, and then he done it in within a month or two. So since that, we didn't think about to make that as our product. So the moment we realized that that problem is not only us, is been facing by many other dev house company as well, and it's not always on software house company, but it's always been facing a lot of problems whenever it comes to individual developers, businesses that have multiple clouds that they have to manage, and also enterprises that have a bunch of systems that we need to control at the central level. Okay, so we developed from a simple automation script. Then before Runcloud, we launched our product at Jom Launch in 2015. It's not Runcloud, it was WHOP.io. WHOP.io is basically web hosting panel. It is just a short form, WHOP.io. And it was, I would say, not fail, but we didn't get any kind of tractions. we make it like a license-based kind of product, and then we pivoting to make the control panel SaaS, so anyone can just subscribe and cancel at any time. So that is the origin how Runcloud started as a tool to solve our own problems, and then we launched into the community in 2016. Runcloud basically from 2015 WHLP.io, then we make it a new name and brand and SaaS-based control panel, which is Runcloud, in 2016. So we launched into community events. Jom launched at where is it? This TM Convention Center in KL. So it's surprisingly we received a lot of good feedbacks, and we started to receive 100 to 200 signups, and then local developers and businesses, they started to subscribe to our service. That was pretty much amazing experience whenever we launched the product.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like you experience the pain point as a software development house of trying to manage all this. You create your own solution to it, and then you start seeing, hey, other people have this pain point as well. What if we could end up marketing it out? And so so then you end up doing a couple of events. You do Jom launch, and then you relaunch in 2016 under the new name. So when you start getting back out to market and you start scaling it up, you get a few hundred signups here and there. And then, you know, fast forward today, and you're a very international company with only a small percentage still in your home, still in the home country of Malaysia. How did it explode and become this kind of wildfire that just went all across the globe? How do you start attracting those customers? Was it purely online? Did you advertise? How did you get so big?
Yeah, this has been a lot of same question that a lot of like even my founder's friend that asking me, hey Arif, how did you get outreach to your clients globally? So till today, only 6% our paying customer coming from Malaysia in local. So 94% of Runcloud users, active customers, are coming from more than 100 countries, and majorly from the US, the UK, India, and other scattered European countries like Germany, France, and so on. So when we launched Runcloud at Jom Launch community, prior to that, like I still remember on October 2016, I putting up Runcloud solution on DigitalOcean community project. So if you know, DigitalOcean is one of most popular cloud hosting for developers. They're very friendly kind of user interface and easiness, and very affordable. I think until right now, and starting a lot of other providers that giving the same, like Vulture, AWS like sale, and so on. So we put and submit our solution on DigitalOcean community project October 2016, and by December 2016, we have been mentioned by DigitalOcean on Twitter, which is the most viewed community project 2016. So in just within 2 months, we get a lot of viewed and tractions within the DigitalOcean community. If you look at the DigitalOcean community, they are very vast and very big and huge and globally connected. When we realized that, and it's maybe the right timing to put our solution at that time, and the demand of people and businesses that are looking the right tool for their cloud is pretty much give us a little more advantage at that time moment. So from local that subscribe like 100 to 200, 300 subscribers locally, and then even the local people started to share about their experience in using Runcloud in global connected community, like Facebook groups. Even I started to see the trend of whenever people asking about, hey, I'm currently using DigitalOcean Droplet or VPS. I'm already provisioned my server, but I didn't know how to manage my server. Can you suggest any kind of tool that can manage my server? So the comments is basically they mention our competitor and then Runcloud. So the third is getting like, hey, I just got to know about Runcloud. How was it? So they started to share about, hey, this and that. They are from Malaysia, and they found that our solution and the new experience that we are giving out. So we always focus on, at that time, we only have like 2 package, free and like flat price $10. And we don't think much about the what we call it level of support. Whenever we receive any kind of inquiries, we try to give like fast support and best to them. So they started to share their experience from mostly from very different Facebook groups, like WordPress groups, Laravel developer, PHP groups, Redis, certain mentioning us on Web Hosting Talk is one of the biggest web hosting forum in the world. So from there, we know that a product is all about a customer. So the moment customer like your product, is basically your marketing tool. So starting from there, we spent a few on like digital marketings, and we found that it didn't work for us, and we started to support more and more into community world, like WordPress community group, WordCamp, PHP group. So whenever they have conducted the event, we always support the community leader at the time moment.
Okay, so it was really like a product-led growth strategy. I mean, it's often said that you can't really market to developers. You have to be able to enable that word of mouth, and if the product's not good, it's going to die pretty much on arrival, because it's a very difficult crowd to please. And so once that's taken, you just basically started penetrating all of the different groups, all of the different communities where they're at. And in order to facilitate that, how did you manage the kind of the resources in order to be active in those communities? Is there like brand ambassadors in some of the local communities, meetup associations? How did you end up creating that accelerating that activity across the globe?
Yeah, like I mentioned to you, basically Runcloud, it was a product of my software company, Good. So started in 2017, early 2017, we realized that the growing numbers of our customers from Malaysia and globally. So we started to reach out more than 30 to 40 countries at that time. And then September 2017, we established Runcloud as a separate entity. And till today, I focus to develop Runcloud as a business, right? The moment we see the trend of people are recommending our solutions, and we started to know that exactly who are our target audience, and mostly they are coming from developer spectrum. They are developer. They are develop their own software company, business owner, that from various kind of creative segment, digital marketing, and so on. So I started to look all over the community, from Reddit, Facebook groups. We even started to put our Runcloud solutions on Product Hunt event. So they started to know about Runcloud and they vote for it, right? So how we manage that kind of thing, the moment we realize that they are developers, and developers mostly they engage towards the developer, tech events. So in 2017, I research and do a very aggressive in communicate with tech communities like Jom Launch, local, and WordPress hosting group, like they have Facebook group, certain communities that are coming from different countries, US, UK, even Africa. So I realized that the way they approach, so it all started when I received one email from our users, paid users. They suggest and then wanted to contribute in Runcloud. So they emailed to me, hey Arif, basically this is so and so, blah blah blah, and they try to suggest and how maybe you can do this and that, right? So it's all started, they just wanted to contribute. And I was thinking, instead of you contribute, why not I support you? Then it started the idea of Runcloud Global Ambassador. So I remember that this guy from US, he wanted to support Runcloud in terms of, hey, I can develop a technical or a blog post for you, because I'm also using Runcloud and I love Runcloud and wanted to make a tutorial for you. Why not that I can? It's like ask for me, like, can I get a permission from you, Arif, that I can develop a blog post for you? It's totally free, and he don't think much about, oh, okay, this kind of post and you need to pay like this. No, they just wanted to contribute. So instead of you contribute, why not that you become an ambassador, that I support you whenever you go to any kind of events, we give the free tickets, and we support in terms of, if you conduct the event, we fully support the event. And also it's not us that wanted to them talk about Runcloud for their place. No, I don't want that. Runcloud is always focused on helping the agencies, the developers. If they have a problems, we wanted to help them in terms of what are kind of the trends or the tools that they have to use. Even we don't even directly that engage that, oh, if you have this problem, you need to use Runcloud. No, it's always on giving back in terms of knowledge that they don't know. So even we sometimes that this is not fit in Runcloud, maybe we also suggest maybe you can use our competitor. So we always discuss in terms of their problems and the solutions during the meetup. So from Runcloud Global Ambassador, then we organize Runcloud Global Meetups. I still remember that we first started a meetup in Cyberjaya, and then we have the ambassador from Africa. Then we started Runcloud Meetup Africa, and then it expands before pandemics. 2017, 18, 2019, we very active like conducting the event as also support. We done Runcloud Meetup London, Runcloud Meetup New York, Runcloud Meetup Jakarta in Indonesia, a lot more. So the brand is start to engage. I feel that this is the right things to do. Entirely our digital marketing in 2017 and 2018, we not even much spend in digital marketing. Now over 3 years we spend almost zero in digital marketing, and we always at the track of support the community.
Okay. So since it's very heavy on the community, it's really heavy on this word of mouth. How has this also driven the product development side of things, as far as building out new features, enabling new aspects of it? How have you been able to strike that balance and create those feedback loops with the users that you have?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We receive a lot of kind of good and bad feedbacks from the community. So yeah, as a normal users, we always demand more. Even they are free users, they demanding more. Hey, I wanted to use this and that. So we don't make them like a free pro business users, and we priority based on the paying customer. No, we always make it them as a user, and the demand that we need to check with the team, and we discuss the ideas on how we can make it. Either we wanted to prioritize the features or not. So we started to have our feature request platform. So any users, existing users or from the community, they can just go that link and request the features. That is where how we collecting the feature requests and the feedbacks in one channel. Another part is basically we have our own Runcloud community Facebook group. So that community is purposely we create for our users. So any users they have kind of suggestion, or even they face any problem, so our technical team, we try to engage them. Even right now, our CMO, which is Raj, he kind of like very well connected within the community globally, and he himself he himself as like a WordPress international speaker, so he knows that exactly what are the problems, and they try to align from the feedbacks to our technical team. So we first started to think of Runcloud for developers, which is a developer tool. Till today, yes, it still is. But the moment we check on the data, surprisingly, more than 80% of our, it's like almost 80%. 80% of our users are coming out from the WordPress users. So WordPress, if you know, like, I think right now it's like 50 or 60% of the entire website been powered by WordPress.
It's a pretty
so
dominant
we can't deny.
share.
Yeah, it's very huge community when we talk about WordPress.
Oh yeah.
So we started to realign our approach toward WordPress ecosystem, and it is very critical whenever we think about supporting other ecosystem, because a lot of things that we need to we need to cover and need to think about the scalability whenever we develop a new feature. So our CTO started to focus more on how every single features that we receive from the customer, and we need to really deep down in terms of the scalability of it, to make sure that it's always be sustained and what we call it stable in the new future. Because any single things that update, because we develop the entire Runcloud ecosystem to support many third parties, so we need to think about third parties, and also our what we call it, our cost stack. So I think any products also face the same problem whenever the scale of the product is getting receive the huge traffics and huge users and huge demand. So to make sure that the legacy of the system is always at a catch up into the product development. So right now we kind of like make and very focused on make sure that our product very stable, and we already done a few critical decision that we need to do this and that to make sure that our product and the cost tags reliable and also stable the moment we plan to enter the new segment, which is maybe inshallah maybe next year we're going to very focus on deliver this, which is enterprise. It should be this year, but a lot of things that I share with you is all about to make sure that the core of the product stacks is at stable, and this is very critical, and make sure that you are focused on the next step on the product, which is in our segment, enterprise.
Yeah, I imagine the stability aspect. You really need to aim for being able to have zero downtime, because that can be very problematic for somebody that's utilizing your platform, your service, in order to make sure that it doesn't cause any business interruption or business complication. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now you mentioned enterprise, but before I jump into that, because with the WordPress community, I mean, there's a number of oftentimes WordPress gets associated with the smaller websites. It's easy to spin one up and launch. A lot of them end up on the hosting sites, or they end up going towards like an AWS or a DigitalOcean or wherever the case may end up being. How do you envision, because like if you're talking about some of these players, there are a couple of other options when it comes to a cloud control panel, yeah? And so when you look at the available option set that's out there, what's the key differentiator? So if somebody is sitting there and saying, I'm going to choose between these options, why Runcloud?
No, all right. We treat ourselves, we are not new in the market. Even since 2017, when we started to really focus on scaling up and grow Runcloud as a business. So I'm also a cPanel user. If you know cPanel and Place is one of the most popular control panel whenever on a web hosting business. So any businesses they wanted to have a simple sites, they might go to cPanel hosting. So they subscribe maybe $10 or $20, they will get a domain, they will get the email accounts, and they will get the cPanel account and everything. Yeah. So 2017, we plan to develop our lightweight control panel and simplify the way how developers manage their VPS. It's not a shared hosting server. It's basically a true VPS, which is developer or business, they own that server, and then now they can do everything they want to do for their server. So shared hosting is basically everything being preset up by the web hosting owner, which is this resell the bunch of packages which is coming from the one server and shared to multiple clients, which is some of the disadvantages by using shared hosting is basically the scalability of your sites, maybe the security. If anyone get hacked, maybe you are potentially to get vulnerable to get hacked by the hackers. A lot of things whenever you think of the continuity of the business and the growth of your website. They always have the use case, but at Runcloud, our audience is basically B2B, which is the business owner, which is the software house like Cool Code that I also run. And I know the pain point as the business owner that runs software companies. So it always have different use cases and also type of clients that we have. And mostly they wanted to have a simple system and also websites, which is come from WordPress. The moment we launched Runcloud, we are not new in the market. At the time, there's already have like bunch of options. Even they also have the open source option. We make our product, we're not competing in terms of features, but we always focus to make sure that Runcloud always simple, minimal. The features is always developer oriented, and to make sure that is the performance as good as we intended, and also to make sure that customer also feel that, oh, by using Runcloud is very fast, right? And the thing that started to people realize that, oh, Runcloud is good to go. It's always at the brand. So we started to develop Runcloud as a brand since the day we started Runcloud, and 2018, the moment I got Raj into the team, and he has experience in how a brand should work toward the community and all. So I see that we need to make sure that Runcloud as the product and the brand need to engage with the community. So the way we align our product to the customer, that is make our differentiates towards the competitors that maybe they just, I don't know, but maybe they just develop for their small team as a pet project of just for community to use the product. But we make sure that Runcloud, if they use Runcloud, they feel that the easiness of using us, and also they feel the attachment in terms of the brand. Like we started to really advocate whenever we use Apple versus Android or maybe any other OS, but we always feel proud if you're using Apple.
Some brand affinity.
Yeah, it's like
this,
the customer advocate whenever they use that. So when customer advocate, it's all about the word of mouth, and we feel that maybe certain things that we done in the past works. And to make it a bit on this, since we already put like cPanel and Plus is our direct competitors. They have been experienced in more than 20 experience in web hosting industry. So
I think cPanel may not have updated in those last 20 years because it still kind of looks the same.
They still, they have, I would say they have a huge team, and we don't want to compete them, but we want to complement with the growing industry. So even by having them is also advantageous for us because they already shape the entire industry. We just come into the market as modernized, and our vision is basically modernizing the hosting. So whatever Runcloud is a product, we try to make sure that we come into the market not direct. As a community is always there, but we wanted to make sure that we always difference at users' point of view. So what is this? It's basically the way we approach them in terms of brand and also the product. So the enterprise segment is going to be a huge decision for us, and it's not easy, and it's critical as well as how the resource and the product development in the future.
Okay, so looking forward at that, with the transition towards enterprise, building out new products, the focus on stability, as we were already talking about. I mean, there's obviously a component of human resources and being able to have the talent on your team in order to build this out. When you look at the talent side of it, is your team mostly local in Malaysia, or are you using a network of developers that kind of mirrors your footprint as an from a sales standpoint?
All right, we started. Currently, we have like 30 to 40 team members, and majorly is basically from engineering teams, QA and so on. 90, I would say that 90% majorly our developers are local, and we have also developers from Indonesia, Jakarta. Only that, Jakarta and Malaysia. So it's like 10% Jakarta and another 90% from Malaysia.
Okay.
In terms of the talent or the tech that we are, I mean, the skill set that required for Runcloud as a engineer and the team for my CTO, it's pretty hard for my CTO to really get the actual skill set, because it's not a simple platform idea. Like you develop a system, develop the mobile app, and develop a nice website. Done. Ours is very critical because we handle server side. We handle a very deep in terms of performance. Even we need to understand real, like Linux, kernel, and everything, to make sure the product that we delivers to the customers as good and the performance as we intend. Still is a crucial for us to get the right team members, and now we started to groom the juniors, and I think we still have a time to make sure that they are right fit to our team. And I feel also whenever we do the hiring, most of them like quite random, and even they have like 10 years in experience, blah blah blah, but in terms of the skill set that we need, they don't have. So maybe we started to reach out globally, but I think we focus on the local first, because we need my CTO need like a physical appearance that they can have critical discussion physically. So I think the moment we see the stable and the new segment already been organized properly, so maybe we started to like aggressively hire talent from outside Malaysia.
Okay, I'm curious, because of the uniqueness of the skill set that you require. Do you find the retention side, because since you're basically taking more junior staff, skilling them up, do you have challenges on the retention side? Because Runcloud has a name brand. That name brand looks really good on a CV when recruiters start trying to find staff. Do you find that people are like looking at Runcloud as a source to poach people from?
Yes, that is also our problem right now. We know that Runcloud as a brand is good globally and also local, and Malaysian also always proud that, oh, now we have Runcloud because Runcloud serve global clients. So we're also proud that, oh, now at least Runcloud have kind of a SaaS product that developed. We also very proud that whenever we go, we always carry Malaysian flags. Yeah, and the problem that we have now is not because our company as a culture bad, but in terms of their career path, and they see the advantages by maybe working at Runcloud. Maybe at the first place I didn't know about that, but the moment they started to work in Runcloud and other big companies started to reach out that, hey, I can offer you more better in terms of salary and everything, yeah, benefits. So we can't beat benefits when it comes to startup versus big companies. So I realized that because our brand, other companies started to like indirectly, maybe they have their own spy. Hey, maybe you can approach this guy. Maybe they have their own kind of HR process. Maybe they started to recruit. So yeah, 2 or 3 our good team members been recruited by other big companies, and it's like too good to refuse, something like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's just the nature of having a reputation, is that once you've
Yeah.
built it, people realize that if they're talented enough to be in Runcloud, they're talented enough to want to try and steal them away. Okay, let's
it's like just want to add, it's like if you as a developer and in your CV say ex Google, so anyone wanted to hire you. So now I see that, oh, ex Runcloud, they feel that, oh, maybe the developer is very good because of this skill set, then they wanted to
it's tough managing that. So let's transition back to looking forward, because so over this time, very product-led, community-led growth strategy, you've expanded across the globe, now you're looking at moving forward and going into an enterprise product. So when you look at the future, what does success mean for Runcloud? How do you define it so that you have a defined goal? What is success for you? How will you know?
All right. I was make Runcloud as a business success by phase. The first phase of Runcloud, we make it like even ourselves like bootstrap. Whenever we develop Runcloud and we get the first client, that is success for me. Okay, and then the client use Runcloud, pay Runcloud, and we have like many loyal customers since 2017 until now. So the day we receive the happiness of our customers, that is the phase 2. The phase 1, whenever they use Runcloud and they pay the service, that is the success for Runcloud. The another one, whenever they use Runcloud for over a year and they're proud that, hey, I like by using and Runcloud success, if as a milestone base, we always have a big dream. For the first 6 months, we treat Runcloud as a lifestyle business. So whenever we develop the business and can pay our salary and our developers, it's enough for us. And then we started to realize that the potential of Runcloud as a global business. Then from bootstrap, we make it enter into the growth stage, which is try to make sure that how big Runcloud can go. So then we started to reach out many global communities and try to accommodate our Runcloud as a brand into at the global stage. Then I personally have been travel into the global communities, more than 20 countries, I would say, that US, Europe, every single big tech events, we start to engage them and make it friends. This is the stage of myself from local in Malaysia, because 94% of our users is global audience. I need to know them. I cannot be at the Malaysian mindset. I need to make sure that I, as a leader of the company, I need to make sure that my mindset is a global mindset. So whenever I reach to the global audience, that is also a success Runcloud as a business, because I see myself grow and Runcloud also is growing. It's a success. And the big dream of Runcloud is we wanted to make sure that we're going to be at least the top 3 or top first the best crowd control in the world, and also the best hosting ecosystem as a panel for enterprises like hosting industry, cloud, and everything. So the end goal of Runcloud, we wanted to develop more and more ecosystem product built in Runcloud. It's like after you connect your first server, in Runcloud, let's say from AWS, DigitalOcean, Project, and everything, is what's next. So you need to deploy your websites. Then you need to have your backup for your websites, and then maybe you need to optimize. Maybe you need to add more security, and maybe to check your performance. So we kind of like, that is the dream that we wanted to do. Like, if you know about Atlassian, they develop from Jira as a developer tools to track the developments. Then they have Trello, they have status page, they have many other tools as a development and productivity tools for enterprises business. So ecosystem is our way to go, but at our segment. So the moment we reach certain points as a product development and the growth, I would say that it's always a success. It's not, there is no engineering for us. I would see success is not a destination, but it's a journey. So we always see
looking at it in those phases, like you were talking about. So it's really interesting that you mentioned that. I think the last aspect of building out the ecosystem, likely you're going to integrate further along the DevOps tool chain in order to continue to see what are the needs that they have. Let me wrap up here with the standard closing question. So the first one, sticking on tech, what is the tech tool that you yourself cannot live without?
Tech tools, I guess because I've been quite a years, not because I'm coming from the technical, and I develop like games, mobile apps, and then my CTO will cover everything. And in terms of the tech tool that currently I'm using, mostly anything that related to communications, so I can communicate easily to my technical teams and my partners and everything. So I think the most, I'm not sure that it's the tech tools or not, but Slack plus many integrations on the tech. Like right now, we integrated with Mixpanel. So we started to use Mixpanel to understand our product behavior, and then everything been connected to Slack. Even my engineer teams and my CTO started to integrate many good tools from the technical and from other third parties, everything integrated in one tool. I would say that Slack is my go-to channel, and it's not really the tech tools, but because of that communication channel and integrated with many other tech tools, I would say that it's getting very useful for me.
Very cool. Yeah, Slack has definitely changed things, and the amount of integrations that they have just make it hugely valuable. Last question that I have here: if you were to talk to another founder that's just getting started out, and I know you're active in the community, mentoring and providing advice, but what is the one biggest piece of advice that you would offer a startup founder that's just getting started?
All right. Mostly whenever new kind of people or juniors, or they wanted to jump into entrepreneurs, mostly on the technical or techpreneurs, I will advise them always, which is, don't think about the money, think about your passions, and develop your own idea by using your own skill set, because there's so many free tools that you can utilize and you can first use. So because it tend to a lot of founders, new founders, whenever they wanted to venture into the new idea on business, capital is always their first top of mind. So capital should be not a single problem. The problem is always at, by using your own skill set, how you can get started your first execute kind of list, something like that. So simple, use whatever you have on your hands. Don't say anything to others. Just make sure that you yourself wanted to do that and have the patience.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you very much, Arif. This has been a fantastic conversation. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin, again. Yeah.
All right, that wraps it up for another fantastic episode of The Sea of Startups. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. Go onto iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. It's the best way for us to get discovered and to have these startup stories reach a broader audience. If you have any suggestions or would like to get in touch, you can email me at kevin@indelible.vc. As always, I'm your host, Kevin Brocklin from Indelible Ventures, and this is the Sea of Startups.